Right, let's try this one. Can everyone hear me? She says, hopefully. Let me know if you can hear me. It's showing on my screen as working. Right, I've moved to a different room, different computer. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, no, I had it all set up. It was all working yesterday. Didn't work today. There you go. So I've jumped onto a different computer. So we're working. Hurrah! I moved to a little quiet room so that I wasn't disturbed by everything, but well, we'll get on with it. At least you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Apologies for the hiccup at the beginning. Good morning, Jill from Western Australia. Wow, or afternoon to you. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Trudy. Hi, Willow Moon. Hi, Susie. Hi, Beck. Hi, Karen. Hi, Melinda. Hi, Xenia. Hi, Diane. Yes. Whoop. Sound. Hi, Nikki. Oh, well, it was bound to be a bit of a hiccup, wasn't it? First one back. That's just how my morning's gone, actually. It's been one of those mornings so far, and it's only just gone 9 o'clock. But there you go. Good morning, everyone. Yes, and I'm glad you can hear me. Subtitles, yeah. Could do with those, couldn't we? Good morning, Maharat. Good morning, Kelly. This will surprise Pete, who's downstairs making the painters cups of tea because he's not expecting me to be in here. Welcome back. Welcome to January. I've just realised that I printed off my notes, left them in the other room. So let's get them on the screen here. I am organised. Honestly, I am organised. Or something. Something like that. Well, I hope everyone had a good festive period and it wasn't too bizarre. We were lucky in that everyone was all safe and all relatively healthy. I say relatively. Myself and my son came down with a cough and cold. Not the big no-no, but a pretty nasty cough and cold, which you'll still hear the ends of. Sue has actually got subtitles. Excellent. I hope they actually give you the words that I'm saying. Some of the subtitles are always a bit interesting, aren't they? Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Crystal. We have absolutely chucking it down with rain today here in the south. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Nita. Eric is you're going to squinny, aren't you? Because you haven't got a blanket on. Princess. So, welcome back. Apologies for not doing any talks on Fridays in December. Life has been incredibly hectic with our house renovation, which is still going on. We have painters and carpenters in today. So we needed a bit of a break. Yeah, but it was chaos, basically. Nikki's going to talk to us because they have a beautiful day here, 27 degrees. It's England. We have rain. So, yeah, I took a bit of time out in December. Good morning, Georgia. I would say I'm back in the saddle, but I'm not. More about that. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my head at the moment. I've got new ideas and new things, but it's January, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Diane says I'm allowed time off for good behaviour. If that was true, Diane, I would never get any time off at all. I think the last couple of years have been such a struggle for all of us. It's been so bizarre, and it has been hard work for a lot of people, myself included. And then we get to the new year. And I think every year on New Year, there are huge amounts of expectations. I love the festive time. I love Yule. I love Christmas. I am the only pagan in my family, so we do the whole Christmas thing. I love the run up to Christmas. I love the energy of those weeks, that build up of energy. once the day's gone, that's it for me. It all gets packed away. But I am that person. I am that person that listens to Christmas songs in November. I make no apologies. I am that person that watches all of the Hallmark Christmas films, even though they're the same ones every year and they're really cheesy. I just love riding that fantastic energy wave that the festive period has. But for me, once that's gone, there's a big dip, there's a big lull. And I used to hate it. I used to really, really hate after Christmas and January. But as my pagan path progressed, I began to realise that there was an energy there. There was a different energy there. And I needed to work with that energy. And there is that expectation for January. That is that whole, we've got to make all these new resolutions, new year, new you. For me, January is a recovery month. Not because you drink too much at Christmas, but maybe you do. But for me, January is a recuperation month. It is a month where you can just take a breath. The festive period, December, is so hectic and chaotic. For me, the idea of setting New Year's resolutions and making huge changes to start on January the 1st was just too much. And it also, for me, didn't tie in with the seasons. January's cold in England. January's cold and it's wet and it's dreary. No one's got any money. All of the excitement's gone. So to make big changes seemed like the wrong time for me. It makes more sense to me to start your new goals, your new challenges at the beginning of February. To tie in with Imbolc, to tie in with the very first signs of spring. So I take January as a kind of recuperation, recovery month. So I don't do resolutions. Xenia has popped up a comment. Let's have a look. Didn't do anything ritual-wise this year, New Year's Eve, because I didn't have the feeling. Next year, yes. There is that at the moment, isn't there? Did a bit Oracle a few days ago, planning on setting my attentions around Imbolc. It makes sense, doesn't it? Well, to me, it makes sense. Trudy says, I love the weeks leading up and I feel the dip, but then I have reflection time and breathe. Yeah, that's absolutely it. Sue likes Christmas but hates Twixtmas. That's a good name. Sarah agrees as well. Christine said, starting my next year Christmas shopping in the... Yes, I might have got a couple of bargains in the sales. Beck, same, head down and focus on Chinese New Year. Yes, because that's this time of the year, isn't it, coming up? Carla says, always feel February is a time I want to make changes and be productive. Exactly. I don't know. Has anyone made New Year's resolutions this year? Do you make New Year's resolutions? And the addendum to that is, do you keep them? For me, I've actually seen memes on social media in the last week that have said things like, set your goals, new year, new you. First thing to do, throw out all the leftover food. What? That is not eco-friendly for a start. Definitely not cost effective. That seems to me to be incredibly wasteful. Yes, we've still got a few chocolates left. We've left them out for the workmen generally, but we're still eating them. But throwing out leftover food, it seems completely mad to me. And then there was that big pile of presents that you had at Christmas that you don't want. Throw them out, give them to charity, re-gift them. What? If you've got a whole load of presents that people have bought you that you don't want, I would suggest that next year you ask your family and friends to give you vouchers or make donations to charity in your name instead, or give them a list of things that you actually want or need so they don't waste their time and money on gifts that you're just going to ditch. Horrified. Absolutely horrified. And that was a pagan suggesting that, the one that I saw. So I was quite shocked. Yes, Nikki, it is. A bit like timing for the Chinese New Year, which is coming up, isn't it? Jill says, January here is so hot. I tend to, that's Australia, for anybody that's, tend to use the time to reflect on the year that has gone and plan for the rest of the year. Yeah, I think it is. It's, Sarah doesn't do resolutions either, or Nita. No, don't like breaking promises. That's the thing, isn't it? Yep, Diane, don't do them anymore. Got fed up beating myself up for not living up to them. Leslie's the same. Don't do them. Never had. February, new beginnings time. Yeah, definitely. Xenia, having January for recovery also makes sense for the seasons. It does, doesn't it? Because the winter solstice is it's the winter solstice. It's the beginning of winter. The winter's still to come. It is, isn't it? The sun is picking itself up. But January's always cold in Britain. It's always cold, snowy even in some places, rainy. Karen made her New Year's resolutions October, which is New Year. Lost 2 stone and I'm walking a lot more. Well done you. Sue says, no charity shops are taking anything in my area. Yeah, there's a bit of a thing with charity shops at the minute, isn't there? Hi, Maria. Xenia, isn't Boxing Day in the UK already about charity and donations? It stems back to there's no real, as far as my research went, there's no real understanding on the name. It could be linked to going back to when houses had servants and they would give gifts of money on the day after Christmas in little boxes. There doesn't seem to be any real kind of reasoning, history, myth, lots of variations. Christine, got lots of chocolate presents this year. Really do not like dark chocolate, and I've got lots. Me, send it to me. Dark chocolate's my favourite. Gave it to the other half, and he's enjoying my Christmas presents. Yeah, I gave away my white chocolate. I don't like white chocolate. It's evil and should be banned. Carla, not throwing away any of the leftover Christmas cake. Don't need that kind of a gym life. No, I like Christmas cake too. I am still eating mince pies at the moment. Willow Moon, we like to think we can make the seasons change on one day. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? So Ain is summer's end, a bit like New Year's Eve, but our New Year's Day isn't till Imbolc. Oh, it isn't, is it? So where are we? No man's land. Yeah, pretty much. Perhaps this period of time is like the dark moon time. I like it, like that analogy. We lick our wounds, make plans to begin once the weather is kinder. That, absolutely, Willow Moon, that really does work for me. Maria goes with the flow. Best thing to do. Tony says, I don't make resolutions as such. I make a list of things I'd like to do, but only a couple of big things. Most are small things that are actually achievable and don't have to start in January. Yeah, January's hibernation month. Hibernation is a good word. If I don't achieve them, then no big deal. Review them monthly and what I have achieved through the month, whether on list or not. Perfect. Maria says, I took the tree and decorations down yesterday. Always feels cold. Yeah, it's that weird feeling, isn't it? Very weird feeling when you take the decorations down. Everything feels empty, doesn't it? And yeah, echoey maybe as well. Although this year, for the first time in my 53 years, we didn't have Christmas decorations. Because the house is still in renovation, there wasn't really anywhere to put them, and it would have been chaos trying to get them up, So it didn't happen. So it was a very, very strange Christmas for us this year with no decorations. My husband and I didn't do presents for each other because we've spent a lot of money on house renovations. So it was very weird. Very, very weird. And for the first time in my 53 years, we didn't go to my parents' house for Christmas. We went to my brother's, which was fabulous. He's an amazing cook, and it was a lovely day. So it was lots of changes this year, lots of different things. Although my husband was quite pleased that he didn't have to bring down all of the boxes of decorations from the loft and didn't have to put them all back up again. I think he was really quite pleased about that side of it. But it did feel really weird not having decorations up, particularly Christmas morning. Our eldest and her fiance came to stay, even though there was barely any room for them, bless them, with the house being upside down. So we still had a few of our traditions, but it was definitely a weird year this year. Definitely. Xenia got Mon Chéri, which I hate. Right, yeah. There's always someone that likes it, so it is about sharing. Beck says shadow work time. Yeah, absolutely. It's chaos. This is why I was going to hide in the little room. Christine, next year you're on. You love white chocolate. Oh, wow, there you go. Perfect pairing, Christine. I'll have the dark chocolate, you have the white chocolate. Beck, made my resolutions and plans when I see the first snowdrops. I like it. That's it. It's important to me, and it sounds like it is to you, working with the seasons. Mother Nature doesn't keep to a calendar. She doesn't work with the dates in the diary. She wants to do whatever she wants. I'm pretty sure she's drunk and menopausal. But for me, it is about following Mother Nature and taking our keys and prompts from her. So that's perfect, Beck. Kerry's using this month to clear out the clutter and then refocus. Yeah. It is a good month, January, for clearing out, isn't it? Once you've taken all the decorations down and sorted out all the presents and all of that. Yes, definitely. Debbie had COVID since Boxing Day. Boo. So had to watch everyone else eat all the food and take the decorations down. Well, not so good watching everyone else eat the food, but score for getting out of the job and taking the decorations down. I hope you feel better, Debbie. Willow Moon says decorations are coming down, but I'm leaving the reindeer up. Reindeer are not just for you. Reindeers for life, not just for Christmas. Definitely. Okay, Kelly, when the doorbell went, she thought it was hers. Sorry about that. You know it's her doorbell if Eric barks. So I'm going to warn you, I'm in here. Yeah, you sneak in.
Was there no noise?
No volume, no sound.
I did look at that before the doorbell. Sorry. I was investigating.
Here. Sorry about that. That was a sneak peek of Pete the Pixie behind the scenes. Christine says, got really excited when I saw my first snowdrop in the garden. Proper lifted my spirits. Spring. Yeah, they are the first sign, aren't they? They are the really early ones. Leslie's got snowdrops already. It is... it's that first kind of inkling, isn't it? Good morning, John. Don't do resolutions. No, we don't know what 2020 we don't know what any year is going to throw at us, really, do we? Clear them ahead and be as ready as you can. Spring cleaning the greenhouses. Yep, that's get the seed catalogues out. Nearly that time. Nita has a reindeer made for you. Yeah, oh yeah, let's keep all the reindeers out. Definitely keep all the reindeers out. So it has been a bit strange for us because of the no decorations, because of everything being upside down. But I don't tend to do New Year's resolutions anyway. There's so much expectation for them. And I'm going to pick on the one, which is the one they generally tend to do, because you've eaten so much food over Christmas. It is the new year, new you, lose all this weight. You know, get rid of all the weight you put on over Christmas. Seriously, we've been living on takeaways for the last 3 months because we haven't had a kitchen. It's going to take me more than January to shift it. But I think there is that pressure, and social media puts that pressure on everyone. And I think it's more important to decide to take this month. January's got its own special energies anyway for working magic. But I think a lot of people find it very hard to be motivated anyway. We've all been out of routine for a while. We've all got to get back into that routine. You've all got to get back into that swing of work. And that was very difficult this week. And kind of find your feet again, find your rhythm again. So to throw into that mix, losing weight, going running, doing more exercise, doing this, doing that, putting all those other expectations and pressures on top of trying to get back into routine, and sort of working on the down that comes after Christmas, I think it's just too hard. It's too much pressure to put on yourself. And then, of course, do you want to, is the other question. New year, new you, but what if you don't want a new, what if you're happy with the you that is here? Are we pressured maybe to doing things that we don't necessarily want to do because society thinks we should be this shape, this size, this, do that? I think January is a really good month for taking a step back and deciding if you want to make any changes, what changes, if you want to make changes at all. Maybe you are exactly where you want to be or you need to be. Maybe you don't want to make any changes. I think January is a really good month for taking that step back and doing a bit of inner work and deciding where you want to be, what you want to do, if you want to make any changes at all. So for me, it's definitely a step back kind of month as well. Christine gave up bread, even gluten-free one. Gluten-free bread is a struggle. Fitting back in your jeans. Go you. Willow Moon. I've bought yet another notepad. Yes, you sound like me. I buy all these beautiful notepads and I fill the first page and that's it. Half filled with plans for later in the year, plans and research. Works well because I have no energy just now. That's the other thing, isn't it? And I'm planning on losing weight, but not now. Too much Christmas chocolate. Yeah, you can't throw it out. You've got to eat it up. Got to eat it up. Xenia, same here. Plan of the year and too much chocolate. I think it is a month, isn't it, to make those plans, to just kind of have a breather. Because as you say, no energy, because December's usually so hectic. I think you need January to just kind of sit back and take a breath, find your feet, have a bit of a think about what you want to do, where you want to be, where you want to go. Nothing's happening in January. Everyone else is in the same boat. They're all trying to find their own feet and do their own thing. So I think February is really, or even March, are the good months to start because it's when spring kind of appears. So you've got that energy to ride on as well for new things, new ideas, new projects. December is, someone mentioned hibernation. It definitely is. It's a month for kicking back and recharging. And how you can have those ideas, write them down, think about them. That's what I'm doing at the moment, making notes. I'm meeting up with the Kitchen Witch girlies next week. We're going to plan a year for the year coming up. So if you want us to do anything, if you want to see us do anything, workshops, talks, onlines, whatever, ping me because we're having a meeting about it next week. But we won't start anything yet. We've got our new British Goddesses course starting, and that launches in February when everyone's kind of had their breather and is ready to jump on the bandwagon again. Willow Moon. My favourite phrase at the moment is I am enough. Good. We forget that at Christmas and always feel we failed. So this year, I am enough. I think that's another point, isn't it? There is so much pressure on people to produce an amazing Christmas. Getting the right presents, making the right food, making sure that you don't burn the food, making sure that you do this and that and the wrapping and everything. There's so much pressure to make the whole Hallmark Channel TV Christmas that, yeah, there is a lot of pressure on us to do that as well. So there was a meme going around actually in December about Christmas dinner. And I have to say, I don't. Thankfully, my mum has always cooked Christmas dinner and my brother this year. I hate cooking roast dinners. I think it's a whole load of faff, much as I love cooking. So I think the pressure to do a Christmas dinner is huge. But there was a meme going around reminding people that it is just a roast dinner with a bigger bird and more Brussels sprouts because we love Brussels sprouts. And I think it is that whole, because it's Christmas, there's a lot more pressure on. So January is a good month to say, actually, it's all good. Karen says, I have January and February as my ideas month. Good. The things I make and try new things out and reading. Oh, reading. Yeah. Kelly, no such thing as too much chocolate. Definitely not. Like January for planning. We've got 11 months left. Take the first month to put in good plans and ideas. Yeah, it is, absolutely. Jill, wonder where New Year's resolutions came from and when they first began. Do you know, I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be interesting to find out. Jackie, love the idea of starting March. I hit 50 years young. Oh, it's just the beginning of it all. Christine said, yes, New Year's resolutions must have been from someone with a very dark sense of humour. Yes, definitely. Nikki, struggle seeing the pressure people put themselves under to meet the crazy expectations around Christmas. Yeah, expectations again. The idea that things have to be this whole TV Christmas thing. And you don't want the Christmas vacation kind of Christmas, but most of the Christmas films just hide quietly at home and ignore the whole process. Now the kids are grown. Our kids are grown too, but they're 21 and 16. They all got up before 7 Christmas morning. Mad. Christine, my son caught COVID before Christmas, but our Yule was still the same, just the two of us. We had a lovely evening, very peaceful, wrote our letters to ancestors, nice. Burned the fire, and it was really good, just the two of us. Sometimes the quiet times can be so spiritual, more so than having a lot of people around. Absolutely. Yeah, perfect. Sounds absolutely perfect. Karen, my son came home and made the tastiest Christmas dinner I've had. Excellent. Xenia, that's why a lot of Germans often have sausage and potato salad on Christmas Eve. Oh, I like the sound of that because it's easy and the cooking person can enjoy Christmas Eve too. I usually have raclette for my own. I love raclette because I'm on my own, no pressure from me. I think it is. I think we forget the person that's doing all of the cooking at Christmas. Nightmare. It's not a rest or a happy, joyful day for them when they're in the kitchen the whole time. Pressure again, expectations again. I think the New Year's resolutions, they kind of make sense in that it's the new calendar year. And I get that. January is the first year of the month. So it kind of makes sense that you make decisions to start new things. But from the energy point of view, and if, like most of us pagans, you work with the energy of Mother Nature, it's all wrong. January's still winter. It's still hibernation time. It's still take that breath, go to sleep, take a rest, recuperate, recharge. February's the time, or even March, to start things, because that works more in tune with Mother Nature. It does for me anyway. I think January is a very good time, and I love the dark moon analogy that was made, because it is a time to divination, shadow work, inner work, and find out what it is that you need, what you want, what you're looking for moving ahead. That's exactly what I'm doing. Can't do a lot else at the moment because the house is still upside down. For me, it's been very weird, and it will continue to be weird for a bit because all of my magical stuff is still packed away. No Christmas decorations, no complete house to work with. What I'm missing the most is the garden. A garden, although small, is half building site with mud and rubble, and half the garden's asleep. So I really miss the connection with nature at the moment. So I'm feeling a little bit out of sorts myself. I'm feeling a bit out of touch with things. But with not having the Christmas decorations up as well, and not having access to all of my witchy stuff, I am feeling a little bit more adrift this month than I would normally. So I am taking extra special time to do inner work, to decide where I want to go, to decide how I want to move forward. I think it's been interesting having 3.5 months of not having access to all of my magical paraphernalia. Have I missed it? That's the question. That's what I need to decide. So I am going to be spending this month doing quite a lot of inner work to decide how I want to move forward with that. Once I can get in to all of my stuff and unpack all the boxes, what do I want to do with it? I had something like 6 altars around the house before it was all packed up. Do I want to go back to that? Good question. Good question. I don't know. So I will be spending some time doing that. Nikki says, too hot here to cook a big meal here for a summer Christmas. I must admit, it does confuse me. It's very strange being in England, looking at Australian Christmases. We have family in Australia. Christmas on the beach in your surfer shorts. It's mad. You must be very used to it, obviously.
You just want to see me in shorts. I
just want to see you in your surfer shorts, obviously. Yeah. Maria, last Christmas I had on my own. I ordered Indian. Perfect. Quite a lot of the Indian restaurants are open on Christmas Day, aren't they? I love curry anyway. Willow Moon says, January's so bleak. We wait for tiny green shoots to burst out of the ground. Hello, bluebells and snowdrops. We need to be kind to ourselves and enjoy simple things. Perhaps that's why nature takes its time. We should too. Absolutely. It is, isn't it? It's about working with that connection to Mother Nature. She's asleep. We should be too. She's under the ground preparing. She's doing all of that, getting ready, and just ever so slightly poking a few things up through the ground. We should be following that and doing that ourselves, taking time to prepare, to get things ready. Definitely. Oh, thank you, Jill. Quick Google search. New Year's resolutions started in the Babylonian times. They were a busy lot, the Babylonians. They went before their gods with promises, expecting favours in the New Year's. Interesting. Xenia, what about... Do you know, I have thought, right at the beginning, I thought about having little bits and pieces as an altar. But I wanted to try not having anything to see what would happen. And it has been an interesting experience. I will be blogging about it. It has been interesting to... When I wrote Witchcraft into the Wilds, one of my books a while back, that's all about working magic without any tools, without any, not even any crystals. That's about working magic with leaves and twigs and everything that nature supplies. And I love working like that. So I think it's probably just been an extension of that, not having the altars and the magical tools anyway. It has been an interesting journey, that's for sure. Definitely. Christine says, once you open the boxes and connect with all your possessions, you'll want them back again, maybe in a different room. I don't know. The funny thing is, I was talking to someone yesterday about it. I have athames, I have chalices, I have wands. Do I use them? No. I put them out. I decorate them on my altar with them. I use them as symbols for energy, for elements. Do I use them? No. So it'll be interesting, but I will blog about it. That's a whole other talk, a whole other story. Maria, went outside into my garden the other day as there was a sponge and 2 tissues out there to pick up. That's quite random. Check my snowdrops and tulips and they're growing. Excellent. It is, I think it is really nice to see those first green shoots, isn't it? We just have mud and rubble at the minute. Melinda, concentrating on inner work this month, studying moonology. It is an inner work month, isn't it? And I think it's the perfect month to do that. Perfect. Australia too. Been here most of my life, still can't get used to a hot Christmas. It is bizarre. Yeah, that's interesting to kind of think about Christmas on the beach. Sue says, on our way into Bristol Christmas Day, a cheap shop open. Wow, it's quite unusual. Carla, resting and recharging, definitely. Nikki is in New Zealand. Not as hot as Australia, but still on the warm side. Yes, like my spellcasting with a pot noodle. For those that don't know, I did a talk at Witchfest probably more than 2 years back now, so I haven't been allowed out. And I gave a talk about working magic with unusual things, household, daily things. And one of the things I had was jar of Marmite. The other thing was a pot noodle. You can work magic with Marmite and pot noodles. Not necessarily together. I will be working a lot more with household magic this year, so expect some more talk. I know I've done one on a few bits on that, but there will be more talks on household magic this year. Mainly, I think, spurred by the fact that I haven't had my magical stuff, so I've had to work with whatever I have to hand. But it's all fun. Rachel was grateful for 2 weeks off work over the holiday period, went into hibernation mode. 2 weeks for knitting, reading, meditation and sleeping, taking the time to just rest. That sounds absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, Debbie says, all my crystals and herbs and altars are packed away because the ceiling's falling down. Wow. I hope you get that sorted soon. That sounds really scary. We had 2 ceilings taken down. It was incredibly messy. Sue, as much as I want my altars, I just have no room for them. So I'm going for a handmade wooden bowl with items that represent the time of the year. I've seen the bowls that they do them in. I think that's a fantastic idea. You have a bowl and you put all of you can do it for seasonal things, you can do it for Sabbats, you can do it for intents. So you put all of your representations and your little bits and pieces in the bowl. I think it's a fantastic idea. Good morning, Emma. Senia, I found out some item statues I have are only for symbolism and nice to have, and others actually speak to me. I think, I've been on this path a really long time. I've collected a huge amount of stuff. I've given away a huge amount of stuff. Every so often I have a bit of clear out, and I've still got loads of stuff. And one of the first things I did when I first started this journey was, I've got to have a shopping list, I've got to have a list, I've got to have all of these things. And I did, and I gradually bought all of these bits and pieces, and then I gradually bought more bits and pieces and more bits and pieces. And there's a huge amount of stuff that I don't actually use. Some of it is just there because it looks nice. Other things I find I'm putting on altars because I feel it ought to be there. Does it need to be there? I don't know. But I think we do collect a huge amount of paraphernalia, but you don't need it. You can have it, obviously. If it works for you, absolutely go for it. And I have had altars dripping with stuff, and they've been fantastic. But if you're in the situation where you don't have the money to buy stuff, or you don't have the space or the situation, you don't need it to be magical. That's just my, thinking about it. Christine, when I think and try to connect with the old ones, I recognise they didn't have all the possessions as we do. No, they had simple pots and pans with a simple stick as a wand, a broomstick to whisk all the negative things out of the house. So I questioned, do I really need all the things I have to? Okay, yeah, I've got loads of wands. I've got loads of athames. What do I cast the circle with? My finger. I do like some things. I love working with candle magic. I love working with herbs. I do like working with crystals. So there are bits and pieces that I tend to use. I have some fantastic pieces of artwork. In fact, this behind me has been a gift from the goddess. It really has. Because this has been the only point of reference I've had visually for working with magic or connecting with deity or any of the spiritual magical stuff. It's the only thing it came after we'd packed everything away. So it's hung in the bedroom. And that has been my focal point for connecting with Sulis. And it's been fantastic. But it is just an image. Do I need it? No. I can contact the goddess anytime I want without any prompts or magical items. But I guess it depends how you work. You can't work candle magic without a candle, really. You could visualize it. I think it's nice to have some things. I think it's useful to have some things. It depends how you work. But it's also interesting to work without them too. Nikki, is there a spell to make you unallergic to chocolate? Oh no, that's just wrong. That's just really wrong. I would cry too. Jill, 44 degrees on Christmas Day in Perth. See, that's just madness. Maria sat there. Maria was one of the people that gifted me a pot noodle after that talk. I don't think I'll ever live that one down. But there's lots of energy in a pot noodle. You can work magic with it. Willow Moon. A few years ago, I took to sculpting goddess statues, which went on the wall rather than the altar. Nice to move your altar onto the wall. Gives great dimension. Do you know, I am thinking I've got quite a lot of lovely plaques from the Freya's Cauldron subscription boxes. I've got all the Sabbath ones, and they've been doing some goddess ones as well. They all hang on the wall, so I have a feeling that's probably where more of my stuff is going to go. It's a good idea, isn't it? That Nita uses herbs and plants grown and dried from the garden. Yes, I do the same. I very, very rarely buy anything online or in shops that's herbal. I like to use things that are in my own garden or in my own area. I think they've got a stronger energy to them. They're eco-friendly, they don't cost lots of money, and you don't have them shipped across from the other side of the world. So I do the same. Nikki, anything I don't use, and welcome to Post New Zealand. Don't have much in the way of cool witchy stuff. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. It is nice to look in a witchy shop, I must admit. Yep, Sue. Cast a circle with a stone pebble or even a blade of grass. I think I've said this before, part of my 3rd degree training, we were dumped in the middle of Dartmoor. And I was told, without any warning, to lead a ritual. No preparation, no tools, no nothing. It was quite a short ritual. It wasn't one of my fancy ones, but I did it with nothing. No tools, no preparation, no script, no nothing. So it can absolutely be done. Emma, I tried to dress down my altar for every season, and then somehow I think magically things appear on the altar all of a sudden like gnomes. Yes. Actually, I do like to do for January, and I did write about this. I've got a new book with Llewellyn that is A Witch for All Seasons, and it works through each month. And I suggest altars for each month. And January, I've actually suggested leaving the altar bare. Don't put anything on it at all. Nothing. Just clean it all off, clear it all, give it a good smudge, and leave it bare. And see what happens. See what comes throughout the month. See what things you find. See what things Mother Nature gifts you. And see how you go with it. It's what I do. So that's Eric being very protective. Christine, many years ago I bought a metal tree, and since then I've got lots of tiny little pagan items. So now I don't have an old pagan tree. I like it. I've made the wishing trees before, not the pagan trees. I think that's the carpenter arriving. Good morning, Jane. Jill, I realised the nature tables I've always had are actually altars. My kids, when they were little, loved finding things to add to the nature table. I love the idea of a nature table. I'm actually thinking my main altar, when everything gets back to normal, will be in the garden. I'm thinking that is... I work so much outside anyway. I work with sun magic a huge amount, probably as much as I work with moon magic. So I work a lot of spells and things outside. So I'm thinking that my main altar may actually move outside. Who knows? Nikki, sunflowers have just started flowering, so I'm sending everyone the happy, smiley, sunshine energy. I love sunflowers. We grew tons last year. Brilliant. Nita, the best circle casting I have ever attended was on Glastonbury tour, and a shaman just drummed the quarters and not a word was spoken. Perfect. Yes, I have been to a hand fasting on Glastonbury. That was interesting. The hand fasting, we all held hands. and sent the energy round to cast a circle. That was interesting. It can be done. But we're talking about January. We're talking about New Year's resolutions. So I haven't made any. I'm not going to make any. What I'm doing is taking some time to myself. The friend I was talking to yesterday said giving myself space. And I think that's what it's all about. It's giving yourself permission to rest, to recuperate, to have a bit of a breather after all of the hecticness, is that word, of December. You can plan, you can plot, you can scheme, get it all sorted in your head, make those kind of initial ideas. I've been making notes, I've been jotting things down, but I won't actually put anything into action until February. I think January is definitely a recovery month. I will be eating up all the leftover chocolates. We don't have much leftover food because it's all gone now, but don't throw it out, we eat it all. Jane says, we had a nature table at primary school. We also had a maypole. It was a convent school, pagan nuns. You never know. You never know. Excuse me. Xenia, love the idea of nature tables or season tables. I like to add seasonal decorations to my altar and also have a seasonal table on my TV board to add something to focus on the season. I think the nature tables are a lovely idea. I think it is, again, all part of being connected to nature and to the seasons. Rather than looking at dates on a calendar, Mother Nature does her own thing. So it's far more important to be in tune with her. Christine, a long time ago, a friend made me an outdoor altar made from a tree trunk and sticks decorating the back of it. It got very green, and even though I cleaned it regularly, it got very dirty, eventually rotted away. I also, the nosy neighbour, watched me outside, yeah. But that's Mother Nature again doing her thing, isn't it? That's it's changing, isn't it? It's fluid. And I think altars should be fluid anyway. That's one of the reasons why January I just leave it empty, because things start coming in. They find their way there. But they do with any of my altars anyway. So Nikki, I think after the last 2 years you've had in the UK, you guys can certainly give yourself permission to retreat, chill out, and give yourself some downtime. Yeah, we do. We absolutely deserve it. John, 2 gifts Mother Nature sent in December are a red and yellow flowering rose. The yellow's still going and the red has gone over now. Just working out what message they've sent. Only problem, I can't take it. Okay. I think it's Mother Nature, again, reminding us that she isn't dates on a calendar. I've got pelargoniums still flowering in the garden. I've got roses still flowering in the garden. And it's January, for goodness sake. They should be all gone, done and dusted. They're fighting. One of the roses is fighting its way through the mud and the rubble. Yeah, I think it's been so mild here that the seasons are all a bit out of sync, really. So it is more important to be connected to that energy of Mother Nature than looking at the dates on the calendar, which kind of ties in with the New Year's resolution thing. January is rubbish for starting new things if you're in season, in tune with the season, in tune with Mother Nature, because February and March are the months where it all springs into action. January is the preparation. January is the giving yourself a bit of a breather, and self-care. You're giving yourself time out, self-care. Jane says, if I don't change my altars often. They get full of clutter and dust. Yes, cease to function as altars. Constant change means they're kept constantly special. I think it's really important to keep altars clear and clean of dust. I think dust, it makes the energy stick. It stalls the energy. So I think it's a good idea to keep it clean. I also find if I've lost my connection as well, that the first thing I do is clean and clear my altar and start again. It's kind of a kickstart to boost things back into action. Maria, still have the leaves, twigs and holly on my altar from Spain. I take them back to the woods near so I can gather more. Yeah, it's gifting as well, isn't it? You've imbued the items with your energy and then you can give them back to Mother Nature. Love it. Jackie says our jasmine keeps flowering and our daphne is just about to bloom. Yeah, it's mad. Christine, swear I saw a blackbird getting all Twitter painted with a female the other day. She wasn't having any of it. Actually, I have noticed I kept hearing every morning magpies because they've got such a distinctive sound. And I haven't seen magpies in our area for a long time, not in our garden for a long time. And I noticed last week there are 2 of them on a garage a few gardens down, and they've been there every morning ever since. So I'm feeling very blessed that we obviously have a couple of magpies that have decided to move in, which is exciting for me. Nikki, any goddess particularly present in January? I tend to think of the Kalak still around. Oh, that Kalak. I should pronouncing it properly because I'm a bit rubbish at pronunciations. I think January is still her time. She's a winter goddess, so for me it's the Kalak that I would be working particularly with in January. Tess is saying, why is Eric whining? Is he okay? He needs a blanket put on him. There's a blanket on the bed. He's lying on the bed, but he needs to be tucked in. So he's whining because, thank you, cup of tea. Eric's whining for his blanket, if you wouldn't mind. He'll stop whining now, Tess, because he's having his blanket put on. Yes, my husband's just reminded me. Thank you. When is it? Can't remember. I have an online book launch Sunday, 23rd of January, 4 p.m. here on my author page, on the Moon Books Facebook page, and on my YouTube channel. I've been talking about my new book, The Big One, Beneath the Moon. It is 808 pages. It is massive. It's like that thick. Everything you wanted to know about moon magic and more. I'm going to be doing an online talk about moon magic, and I will be doing a book giveaway during that talk as well. You can pre-order it from all the usual places now, but that's Sunday the 23rd, 4 p.m. So join me for that. Be fair. Nikki says, can anyone tell me what the symbolism of having 2 peahens turn up out of the blue? Strangest bird call, like a Kalamazoo. I am unfamiliar with peahens, Nikki, but have a look at their size, their shape, their colouring, their habitat. What does it mean to you? If you have a look at the actual animal, the bird, and how they live, how they move, what they're doing when you see them, and see if it has anything specific to you. Nita says, the Roman god of January is Janus. Indeed, that's where the month comes from. 2-faced god who looks both back at the past and forward to the future, which is quite symbolic for January, really, isn't it? Willow Moon, love your book, The Kalak. Thank you. I walked with the Kalak for about 15 years, so quite familiar with her. Xenia, poor sweet Eric. He's not. He's a diva. He's an absolute princess. Debbie, keep getting crows landing next to me and kind of talking to me. Crows are so full of magic. Probably one of the most magical birds. It is an absolute blessing. Jackie, see you there, Jackie. Okay, yes, I understand you now. Yes, girl version of peacocks. Sorry, I was misunderstanding. I think I wrote about peacocks on my blog. Have a look at my blog. I'm sure I've written about peacocks. I think about peacocks as the men are all showy, aren't they? With all the big tails. The peahens, understanding now, don't have the pretty blue tails, do they? But I think peacocks are very much about your self-image, about self-confidence too. So I'd have a look at that kind of connection. But it will be personally what it means to you. Nikki, peahens, small heads, big body. Maybe I need to do a New Year's resolution. No, but I think it is. They are very much, for me anyway, about self-image, self-confidence, maybe some meditation work to meet one would probably help you get the answer with that. So I've waffled for an hour already. So I won't be making any. Jackie says also protection. Thank you, Jackie. I won't be making any New Year's resolutions. I won't be making any huge changes in this month. What I will be doing is taking some time to myself to think about what I want to do going forward and to think about what I need to do. Will I be making any personal changes? Probably not, as I'm not about to go on a diet because I like my food. I might take it a bit more healthy at some point. But it definitely, for me, is a month to recover, to recoup and recharge before embarking on any new regimes or any new ideas. I'll be doing some research. I'll be doing some meditation. I'll be seeking some guidance. I had a tarot reading yesterday to give me some kind of prompting. I do read the tarot myself, but I find that once a year it's quite nice to have someone else read for me, just to get a different viewpoint. If you want to make any changes, keep them small at first, small and achievable, bite-sized pieces that you can tackle easy, one step at a time. Then you won't have those enormous expectations, and then you won't feel let down when you don't live up to them. That's my view anyway, my view. Oh, Nikki says they also have no air brakes and fly to tree. Maybe there's a message in there too, Nikki. Maybe there's a message there as well. Jenny, I recently saw a buzzard and tree on the playground near a main road, a few streets away from here, big city. Sometimes I hear them call. I think, yes, they're probably after the pigeons, aren't they? That would be, yeah. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for joining me. Nikki, your cocoon is changing. Yes. So again, a couple of people have mentioned that to me this week, that I am feeling a bit scattered, and it's probably because the energy of the house is scattered at the minute, but it will be emerging as a beautiful thing. Definitely. Thank you. Oh, everyone's putting lots of lovelies. Thank you. Might be a time for deciding what to do. First of many things that need doing. Yeah, I've always got a long list. Yeah, the cough is the last remaining bit. It's been with me since before Christmas, so it'll go eventually. Should be fixed by consuming chocolate and leftover Christmas cake. Absolutely. I'm off to have a mince pie now. Thank you for joining me, everyone. It is so lovely to be back. I have missed all you guys. That's the only decision that I've made this year, really, is to start the Friday morning chats again. So I will be back next week. If you want me to talk about anything in particular, I have had one request for magical tea, which is percolating in my head at the minute. So you will see that at some point. Tess, I will be at the Artemis gathering this year. So it'd be lovely to meet you. Yeah, back on track for Fridays. That's my first resolution of the year, but one that I will keep to. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me this week, and I hope to see you all next week. Have a lovely weekend.